Guys, I have tried to film this video like, I swear, like 10 times, and this is my 10th time filming it. I don't know what about it makes it so difficult. It's probably because there's so much information. I don't want to miss anything, but like, yeah, 10th time's a charm. Hey everybody, it's May. Welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be filming a driver's test video. So like everything you need to know in order to pass your driving test. If you recall, I did film a driver's permit test video a little bit after I got my permit. So here's what it looks like. I'll put it here and I'll also link it down below. You can watch that one first, or you can come back to this one, whichever one. I would say if you still need to get your permit, to watch that one first and then come back to this one, only because it's kind of like the information that kind of you would need to know first, but whichever way works. But anyway, let's get into this video because there's a lot of things we have to cover. So before I get into the actual process, I just want to say that with my DMV, they went back to doing the test like the normal way, so like not the COVID version where you would like drive around the parking lot and stuff like that. So yeah, which I didn't know that maybe until like 2 weeks before my test, so I was a little nervous, but it was all good. So just check with your DMV to see how they're still doing it and all of that. Also, for my appointment, I scheduled my appointment like a couple of months in advance just to make sure that like it would all work. So again, just try to stay on top of that information depending on when it is that you want to get your license. So on to the actual driver's test. So when you get to the DMV, they'll register you. One thing I did not know was that you take your license photo first before you even take the test. I did not know that, so I was bamboozled. I was like, since when? Because when I got my permit, I took it last. So I just didn't know that. Just be prepared to take your driver's license photo. Make sure you look however you want to look and stuff like that. So yeah, after you're registered and it's your time to take the test, you and your instructor will go out to your car and you'll get in, but they'll stay outside and you'll start the car up, but you'll have your window down so that you can still hear them and stuff. And then they'll pretty much have you to do certain things. So one, they know that you know where it's at, and secondly, so they can check like different things before, because they're required to check them and they're all required to be working before you can actually get on the road. Here's some of the things that they'll have to check, and they'll ask you to turn on so that they know that it's working and stuff. Your headlights, so low beam, high beam, emergency, park lights, emergency brake, your left turn signal, right turn signal, your windshield wipers, also your registration lights, and also your fog lights. Make sure those are working as well, because they'll check. I mean, you don't have to necessarily turn those on because they come on, I'm pretty sure, whenever you have your headlights on. If you watched I got my driver's license video, you would know that one of my registration lights were out, and so I had to go get that fixed before I finished the test. But I was grateful because I didn't want him to be like, you have to make a whole new appointment, because I was like, no, we can't have that. But point of the story is just make sure that all of your lights are working and all of that type of stuff, and make sure you know where all of that stuff is at, because of course that's important if you want to pass and stuff. So after all that stuff is checked, your instructor will get in the car and they will again kind of ask you like where stuff is at. It really depends on who your instructor is to really know exactly what they will ask. But I know for me, my instructor, he just asked me like, where was my steering wheel and where was my radio. He just had to like point to it and stuff. After that, it's kind of like the driving portion, but you have to do the parallel parking part first. But I'm gonna just say this because I had to back out of the spot and then drive around to the parallel parking section. Make sure that, first of all, seatbelt on, and make sure that you check your mirrors and stuff, because if you don't do that, then they'll fail you. And for me, I did it twice, right? I did it when I first got in the car before he like checked all my lights and stuff. And secondly, when he was in the car before I pulled out of the spot to actually drive, just to make sure he wasn't gonna be like, you didn't do it, because I did, period. But anyway, that's that. So yeah, make sure you do all of that stuff, and then you'll drive around and do parallel parking. So this is the one a lot of people had questions about, and a lot of people, like, it was kind of a confusing part and everything with like the rules and stuff. Basically what he'll tell you, or they'll tell you, is that you get 3 tries. I want you to be on or over the white line that's within 6 inches of the curb, and that you can't hit the curb or any of the cones, but you get 3 tries. So I'm pretty sure if you do hit the curb but you're not over the line, it's points off. There's a certain amount of points that you can't go over, or then you fail and stuff like that. Alright guys, so I wanted to come on here just one more time really to clarify this, because I know it's kind of hard to understand. So here's some pictures of like when I parallel parked, and this was actually at the DMV. So another thing I recommend, go to your DMV and practice there. So what I'm saying as far as the curb and as far as the white line, so you can see this right here is the curb, and it's the same thing in this picture here. And that was a bad line, sorry. Okay, that's the curb, right? And we'll use white this time. So this is the white line. So basically your car either has to be, both of the wheels have to be either on the line or a little bit over the line, or however you want to do it. But you just cannot touch the curb. Okay, so you can see like not touching the curb, and that's even this one. I almost touched the curb, but I didn't touch the curb. So that's kind of what I mean by that. And then it's kind of hard to really see in these photos, but if you see up here, there are cones here, and there's also one like at the back of the spot, like over here sort of. So you can't hit any of those cones. Another thing, make sure that your front end is equal to your back end. That's how you know you're in there correctly. So you just remember those things and you'll be fine. And of course, turn on, for me, since I was backing out of the spot, it was my left signal light, but if you're pulling in, it'd be the right one. But again, it just depends on which side you're on when you're pulling or backing in and pulling out. So hopefully this clarifies. So that's really it. I ended up getting mine on the first try because like I had practiced like a lot. But yeah, I think I covered everything with that. Just make sure that you turn your signal light on. So I think it's right signal light when you are backing into the spot, and then left signal light when you're turning out of the spot. Then you're on to the driving portion. I would say just ask someone like what the route is, because with mine it really wasn't that difficult. It was really just around where the DMV was. It wasn't like drastically out of the way, and it was just around like the city, so it wasn't that bad. A few tips that I do have is make sure that you make complete stops at stop signs and stop lights. Be easy on the brake when you're like coming from like being stopped. So like say you're at a stop sign and you're in the clear to go after you've checked all the sides and stuff like that. Just be easy on the brake when you pull out and stuff. Make sure you turn your signal light on early enough, because I know they'll take points off if you don't do that. Do like double checks or even triple checks, whatever, just to make sure that you're in the clear to go. And pay attention to the signs, because okay, I was driving through a park, speed limit was 15 and I was going maybe 20. Yeah, just make sure that you're paying attention to the speed limit and all the signs and stuff like that. So yeah, after that, go back into the DMV, you'll park. For my driving instructor, he told me that I passed like inside of the car. I know some people said that they found out they had to go back inside the DMV and stuff. So it just depends on like who your instructor is. Some may tell you that if you passed or not inside of the car. Some may tell you back inside the DMV. It really just depends and all of that. So yeah, yeah, you'll go back inside and you'll have to not really fill out paperwork, but just give them the paperwork to get you registered and things like that. Do your signature. And as far as your license, I didn't get my actual license until maybe like 2 weeks after I got a paper copy and I left the DMV. But here's what my actual license looks like. Period. Yeah, that's really it. Again, it's really not that drastic of a test, but really just make sure that you know your car, you know the things of the road. And obviously with driving, it takes time to really know everything, and that's okay. I do have restrictions as far as like driving. I can't drive with anybody outside of family for 6 months. I have about 4 months left for that. So that's a bummer, but other than that, I don't think I can drive past 10 p.m. unless I have like an actual reason for it. I think that's pretty much the main stuff. So hopefully this video helps you guys. I'll probably, whenever I'm editing this, I'll have to add more stuff because I know I'm missing certain things and there's certain things I didn't say. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave any questions that you have down below, or you can contact me on my social medias and I'll get back to you on there and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.